Now, from Into Tomorrow, this is an ITTV special report.
We have lots to talk about with our next guest. The founder of Living in Digital Times is Robin Raskin, good friend of the show as well. Hey, Robin, how are you?
18 years go by in a flash.
Boy, don't they ever. Holy moly. And you also contribute once a week to our tech newsletter and share some really cool things with us that you run across as well, and we appreciate that. Our audience always gets a kick out of some of the things. But tell me about Living in Digital Times. We are all doing it, some easier than others, it seems.
Yes, and some get more attention than others. And yes, there's always been tech forward. And traditionally, CES was always for the true geeks by birth. And you'd walk around and you'd see what Sony had, and you'd see what Intel had, and you'd see what Microsoft had. But nobody was looking at what people needed. So we decided to turn it inside out. So now, if you want to talk about products that will help moms, you can come into Mommy Tech. And because we group products together, it's a great way for a startup company with good ideas to come in and get the bang of working with in a bigger space. So we have one for kids, we have one for moms, one for boomers, digital health, sports and fitness. So the idea is flip it around. If we can solve a problem through your product, you belong with us.
And even higher ed tech, that's a relatively new one, right?
Yeah, it's relatively new, and I don't know if you've paid for a college education recently, but so what's happening
recently.
Is, right, so, at $40,000 to $50,000, a year, people can't afford this. The colleges are not turning out the best students, so you're coming up with all of this, what we call disruptive technology, MOOCs, these multi-operating community college courses that are online, so you can actually go to MIT now. You can't get the degree unless you take the tests and get certified, but MIT, Coursera, Udacity, these are all using the best professors and the best curriculum and giving it to you as an online education, not just for the people in the U.S., but for the whole world.
Wow. So
it's going to get pretty wild.
Yeah. Now, and do you still have the option to take the tests and get the degrees at some point as well?
Depends where you go, which course you pick, and they will say. And so there are a lot of different things. Some people are learning just because they like to learn. You go on to iTunes U and download a little brain surgery, but you can listen to some professors who are just tops of their class, and then you can opt in. Do you want to take the test or not? Now, I happen to call this intellectual ambient. I take programming classes every night and fall right asleep.
Intellectual ambient. I do like that. We talked with others here about health tech, and some of them are tracking sleep. If you're having sleep difficulties, that might be a solution.
Learn how to program.
And it can be free.
Yeah, but the health stuff also is amazing.
Sure.
So for a long time, we were always, the sensors were opening our doors or closing our windows or turning on our lights. Well, now the new sensor technology is really monitoring everything about our bodies for better or worse. How much we've slept, what our heart rate is, what our pulmonary exhales are, what our REM sleep is, whether we can go into alpha states, and relax. And not only can you monitor this, but then you can share it with all your friends. So now you're not just on a diet by yourself, but you're in a diet with a community of people monitoring what you take in and what you put out.
Which I guess on the one hand, the whole idea there is if you're with a community of folks that are like-minded or have similar issues, you hopefully have a built-in support group. And I guess to that extent, that can be very helpful, especially if it's all online related, but it's almost like your own little Facebook group or something, right?
It really is. And people say with the motivation of a group, whether it's you're quitting smoking or you're, whatever it is, with a group motivation, you're doing really well. So really, I like to think of it like three unbelievable things have happened. Mobility, the internet, and sensors sort of have all become small enough.
Yeah.
Like this year we'll be showing a pill that you can swallow and it takes pictures on the way down.
Sure. All through your system.
That's
and
right.
lets the doctors know exactly what's going on.
They're operating with these tiny embedded cameras now. They're giving medicine so it can be located at just the cells that it's supposed to be located at. Biomarkers to decide, genetically what diseases not you have, but what diseases you might have.
Yeah.
Cars that will be able to know if your blood sugar is low or if your eyes are drooping a little too much. And 70% of the population in this country is going to be over 50 by 2015.
Wow.
Which is kind of, so we're not set up.
70% of the population.
we're
Holy
like
cow.
so not set up for this. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
healthcare, driving safety, all of these things are places where innovation is going to be awesome.
Wow. And of course, thus the Silver Summit. We're going to have a whole lot more attendees to the Silver Summit as well in the next few years, just for those very reasons. Unbelievable.
Yeah, because I think even the companies, Panasonic, LG, I mean, these are people who have the technologies, now put them in the package to help people so when they're out in the street and they fall down, they have a monitor and all those things.
Wow. Yeah, it's a whole lot more than just I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, perhaps we'll already know that you've fallen and we'll have people on the way to help get you up. I mean, among other things.
Right. Or did you just sit down?
Yeah,
or,
that's true.
Right.
Oh, man.
Right.
We are, in fact, living in digital times. So you want to visit the website that Robin and her team are up to, livingindigitaltimes.com. It's kind of a long URL, but it's easy to remember when you think about it.
Great to work with you for these 18 years.
Oh, it is. And let's keep it up, too, as long as we can handle it. I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired, especially when we hear about all these things. But let's use technology to benefit us and continue to do just that. We'll talk more, especially with a lot of the guests and exhibitors that Robin and her team will have at these various Living in Digital Times areas, too, at the upcoming CES. IntoTomorrow.com for more info and videos of all of the websites and videos of all of the guest interviews. Lots of fun stuff when you visit us again at IntoTomorrow.com. I'm Dave Graveline, back with more from New York after this.